So to start off with just a cleanse and a toner at minimum is what you want to do so that when you're applying the poultice, there's no makeup, oil, dirt on the face because the poultice is steaming and we're massaging and we don't want to massage in any of the dirt and the makeup. So cleanse and tone at minimum, and also exfoliation beforehand is great, obviously for absorption of the herbs, and if you're incorporating this into a facial, absorption of the subsequent nutrients from any of the products that you're going to be using. Okay. So there's 3 main send points that we're going to be working with. One right under the jaw, the ear here. The second one is right on the flap of the ear, the cussus meatus, and then the temple. So with this, we're incorporating a lot of different techniques. We're incorporating the herbal poultice, and we're always following the energy lines with the poultice. We're following the muscles. So it's really important to know where the muscles are and what their support function are for the end result. And so the herbal poultice, then we have our aromatherapy massage, which once again we're working with the meridians in the face. We're also working with royal time massage, which is pressure points that we're going to follow along down to the send points. And we're incorporating all of this together. So the effectiveness of the treatment is the combination of the techniques and the pressure. The deeper the pressure, we're going to be working with sculpting, contouring, working with the support function of the muscles. Then, as we lighten our touch with the poultice, we're going to be working with lymphatic drainage. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be alternating between the different techniques in the areas. I'll show you 3 different techniques for working under the cheekbones and the zygomatic. 3 different techniques for working in the eye area, under the eyes, lymphatic drainage. And then what you have to do again is just put those together, kind of sew them and piece them together based on the technique that's going to benefit your client the most. Okay, so you're going to learn them, but it's not necessarily A, B, C, D, E protocol like with the body treatment. You might have A, B, D, 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 E, A, B, A. So we're just going to alternate those techniques. So the key is to master the technique and then use it for what your client needs to customize the treatment. Okay, so when we first start using the poultice, it's going to be steaming. I'm going to talk through this without the poultice. First, we want to make sure that when you first apply, transfer the heat so that your client knows that the heat is coming. And then second, we want to just lightly apply the heat all over the face. So we start to relax the muscles, just relax your client, start to let the muscles in the face absorb all the heat, start to absorb the herbs. Then we'll work one side, then the other. You will get results on one side. When you do the other side, you normally get better results. So what you're going to have to do is come back and make sure that in the end you have symmetry between the right and left side. So it's going to always work that way. All right, so I'm going to grab the poultice out of the steamer to the touch and just lightly apply the heat. How's the heat?
It's a little hot.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So usually the forehead is a nice place to start. It can take a little bit more heat. Again, it's very light. Better?
Yeah, it's good.
And that's what I'm doing, very light before I do any pressure. So you can see I'm just relaxing the muscles. I'm still following the send lines. Let me just come back to this point. The send lines work, as I called it, we have the 3 main send points. Then we have the meridians in the face that run from the chin along the jaw to the sin point under the ear. Then we have the meridian that runs right along the cheekbone, the zygomatic bone, to the point on the ear. And then from the forehead to the temple and also along the eyes. So we're working with the energy lines here, here, and here. Even with the poultice, as I roll it, you see I'm always following through. So I refer to these as like destination points. So I'm going to follow through all the way to the destination point, no matter where I'm coming along the face with the poultice. And then I want to, every once in a while, come down and drain. Okay, so you'll see me do that quite often. Let me just grab it again. Again, it steams very quickly, so we have to go through that process of just kind of lightly applying it to the face. Notice I'm also palms to fingertips because I don't want to roll it like this with my fingers. It's choppy, it doesn't feel good. I don't want to start with my fingertips because then I run out of control, because I run out of hands. Okay, so now that it started to cool down, I can start to slow down. One of the first things I want to do, and I'm just going to turn her head slightly, make sure the head isn't all the way over. And I'm going to start by just opening up the lymph drains and on the neck, and just lightly, it's a pressure, probably a 1 or a 2, following, and this is dumping, you'll see how I come around, and just starting to open up the lymph pathways. And lightly. Also, I want to make sure that I'm working underneath, okay? So here, underneath the jaw, and then down. You can really contour and do a lot of draining on the neck, and for the double chin, rooster neck.
I have a client that was coming in regularly to get these. She said she wanted a mini facelift for a wedding she was going to, but she had a lot of problems with her neck. She was wondering if there was some way for me to lift and tone the neck more. I mean, I went over it and I would do a lot of like up and back movements, but I wasn't sure if there was anything else I could do to tone the neck a bit more.
Let's go ahead. We'll address that at the end. I want it because we're doing the video. I want to just go straight through the protocol, so we can see it in real time as I go through it and kind of explain it. And then at the end, I'll ask for questions, and then we can go over some specifics for that, so that we don't end up with a choppy video again. So yeah, you were right, just to kind of come in through the neck, but I'll show you some of those. Okay, so I'm coming through just under the chin, so we can really help with that, the rooster neck. And again, you can, if you have any sagginess in the neck, of course you can come the same way down the neck and then drain. We'll also follow up with an aromatherapy massage that's lifting and helping to reinforce the support functions of the muscles in the neck. So as I work up, now I'm going to start adding pressure. The poultice has cooled down enough, and I'm going to add pressure. And if you want to come around here,
The other side.
well, you can kind of see from behind me. I'm going to do, yeah. So what I want you to do is you're adding pressure, and you're going to plump up. So plump and then roll, okay? So you really want to add some pressure. Find the point to right at the tip of the nose here, the edge, right along that zygomatic bone, and you're going to follow through all the way to that point on the ear. That's one movement. My hands, I'm holding it with one, not twisting it with one, just holding it. The poultice actually kind of just twists through my hand on this side. Plump up. Don't be afraid of the pressure. The pressure is what's going to give you the contouring and the sculpting. Here's one movement. We can also come down, so we're here, and also come down from the edge of the lip and do that same movement. Now this is working in like the buccinator over to the masseter, and this is also helping to carve and sculpt. This is also really good for people who clench their jaws or grind their teeth, because what we want to do, and as you're coming and doing this movement, okay, and we started out soft, but you can feel the tenseness, the muscles underneath. And then another movement is a zigzag. And that's really helpful too. So as you're coming under, kind of plump up, sculpt and roll out. Do the same thing here, plump up, right along that jawline out. And then you can do a zigzag movement to soften even more. Now this is also good for anyone who suffers from migraines, because you're working right here in the jaw, but also the masseter that connects to the temporalis, which can cause a lot of headaches too. So, and then just always continuing, every once in a while, your follow-through stroke is to kind of dump the here. Okay, so as you're working, that's two separate movements. So you have the one plumping up and coming around. The next one, and you can really start to see like the cheekbone being contoured. The next is you're going to hold the poultice with your fingers at the back. So the poultice, your fingers are actually supporting the back of the handle. And the rolling motion is really going to come from your thumb, kind of rolling on your fingers. So you're using the back half of the poultice here to here. You're going to plump up, just like we did before, finding plump, adding pressure, and you're going to roll right in that little valley, right in under the cheekbone. Plump and roll. Now, as you get better with this, you can roll all the way out to the ear. In the beginning, if it's kind of uncomfortable, you're not sure, divide it up into shorter movements. Plump up, roll. You can start again, plump here, and roll out. The key is we're rolling on the edge of the poultice. So if to practice, you can just place the poultice here, kind of find your, plump up, and just practice moving it. Kind of, it's like a car on two wheels. On the edge, and you're just rolling along. Think of that zygomatic bone as the guardrail. Okay, so we're coming right along here and plumping up the cheek, contouring, and also it's draining. So here's one movement. Again, you can always go down and right into the cheeks and really start to loosen up, but carve, contour the face out. So be careful that your hands aren't like this, because you're not going to be able, what's going to happen is you're going to come up and it's going to twist around. You want to come in here, hands to the side, not to the top. So you're not doing that. It hurts actually with your hand. Okay? When the poultice cools, you want to stick it back in, wet it a little bit, because the face takes out a lot of the hydration. And in between steaming it, as it's reheating, you can do some pressure points. This is great for the sinuses and just releasing blocked energy in the face. So we're going to come from the tip of the nose. We're going to follow all along where we just were working the jaw out to the point underneath the ear. So pressure with the pads of your fingers. 1, 2, 3. Hold 2, 3. Release. Come to that next point. 1, 2, 3. Hold 2, 3. Release. Press in. 1, 2, 3. We're just going to work all the way out. And this allows the poultice to warm. And then when you get to the point on the send point under the ear, I'm going to do just nice, slow, small circles right on that send point. Okay? So notice my circles are going forward, and I'm not doing this. I'm right on the pads of my finger, and my hands are straight, and just nice forward circles. Okay? Now the poultice is steamed enough. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the steamer. And I can continue to work, always making sure that we don't go too deep with it too hot. So, and this is nice anyway, because you need to continue to drain and kind of get that lymph moving. So as it cools down, that's a great way to do that. Now, I'm going to work the brow. Okay? So there's 3 different movements. The first one, I'm coming up right in the corner, and I'm going to do palm to fingertips again. I'm going to come in right up under the brow. Heat, okay? That's good. And I'm pressing up, and I'm going to do this with one hand, but I want you to do it with the two, so you can see. Press up into the brow, up, 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 right into that arch, come around and down. So I'm actually picking up right under and following right around the muscle. Okay, this is really important. Don't press down into the brow bone. It hurts. Pressure points there. You want to make sure that the handle is tilted, not down, so you're pressing into it so that you can come up, plump up the brow, and just work just like you would be if you were waxing, okay? So we're coming right up under the brow, right in here, all the way out, kind of right in there, okay? So really coming up right into that arch, rolling. So this is one technique on the brow, coming in here, up, lift, and follow around. You want to make sure you're not too low. You don't want to be on the eyeball. Again, it hurts, okay? So just contour right up into the arch and follow it around. Also make sure that you have control. You know, you don't want to come in with one finger and kind of do this or here. Come up, work the muscle around. That's one movement. You can already see it's starting to open up her brow. Give her a lift. Now, the second movement is using the upper half of the poultice, and I'm coming up, over, and out. So find the, just kind of the lip here, the edge of the eyebrow, pull up a little bit. We're not stretching, we're just lifting. And you're coming up, you're just maintaining on the bottom of the poultice, okay? Bottom and over. Think of lymphatic drainage. There's fluids here, I just want to push and bring the fluids out and really open up and soften the hood of the brow, okay? Up and out. Make sure you're not twisting, up and over. Now, especially if someone has a lot of puffiness in here, you can really start to do more detailed movements. So I can take the first step and I can kind of come over here, and then I can also start at the arch and come over and even start at the edge and roll it all the way out so that I'm getting draining and lift here, draining and lift here, draining and lift here. And I'm constantly reinforcing with that lift and rolling out, right to the hairline. Just, you can even bring it into the hairline. Same thing with this movement, where we're coming out, and you could even start here, okay, and just, this really helps with puffiness and opening the brows up, kind of, you know what I do. I'm going to do it with this hand so you can see it easier. Coming up and out, and then coming here. Okay. The third movement is coming up, again, just finding that point right under the brow, coming all the way up in the frontalis muscle of the hairline, lifting, and you can add more pressure because, okay, find the point, come up over, and then add pressure on the forehead. You can take more pressure. We're just ironing out the wrinkles in the forehead, supporting the lift function, coming up, okay? So those are the three movements on the upper eye. I'm going to re-steam my poultice. Waiting for the poultice to steam. The first line was here. Now I'm going to come from the bridge of the nose, doing pressure points right along the orbital bone, and I'm going to come out to that sin point that's right on the flap of the ear. And again, just do circles right on that pressure point, forward, very small, small circles. Okay. I'm going to grab my poultice. Okay. again, transfer the heat. Now we're going to work underneath the eye. You want to come right here behind me. Okay. So we're going to be working, the very first movement, and you can go right over my shoulder, is you want to flatten out the poultice, kind of make it have a skinny edge. And I'm going to rock it back and forth as the heat, okay? So just go ahead and impulse it with just get on the brows and let the poultice go down a little bit. Just to consider your working better. So anytime, depending on how racy you do, you can come in and do your other movement here. Left cheek. So go ahead, flatten it out. Give yourself a little bit skinnier than edge. And come in and we're going to just rock it back and forth and do a little draining. So my pressure, I'm rocking it back and forth and a little bit more pressure will go down. So it's coming back, but the pressure, because I want to take the fluid and I'm going here and down. As we do this, you'll notice you get a lot of thinning and draining in the nose area. So that's one movement, okay? And then follow through with the drain. So it's a little bit of a drain contour because as I come around, I'm adding pressure, and you can see because the cheek is plumped up, right? So here, out. Now when we're working underneath the eyes, of course, like we've opened all the drains and we've been doing draining through the cheeks. Now we're going to come up and work underneath the eye, which is going to take this fluid and push it down into the cheek area. Then we'll have to follow up and open up the drains again. We don't start here because we want to really open up from the neck down so that when we're draining, it has somewhere to go. Okay? Now I'm going to go underneath the eye, and I want to make sure that I make it a round ball again because it's softer, and we go right in that soft tissue under the eye. Go ahead and open your eyes. So I'm going to have her open her eye, and we're actually going to go right underneath the eye. Okay? So, if you can so it's going to go right underneath your eye, and I'm working, when you're on the left side, use the left muscle there. Left hand over this side. You want to kind of up around the temple here, because you want everything to be lifted, and you really want that eye to smile and bring up. Nothing is just going all of the downward. So now, as we work under the eyes, I'm going to work right across the chin and then light pressure. Just really the weight of the shoulders. And I'm working medial to lateral. I'll also work lateral and medial. So if you think of it as, we're trying to drain out, but if there's a lot of fluid here, I'm not going to be able to drain. I need to open up those pockets first. We just work backwards and overlap our chin as we kind of lateral away. And you're going to overlap these techniques all the way out, and then kind of step the way in. How many times you do this? It's going to depend on how open you are. Now I'm going to work here, here, and here. Down, just overlap this point. I want to do some more draining, and then of course I want to follow through and kind of dump down here. Make sure that I'm really keeping those pathways open when I'm doing the draining. Okay, so that's one movement. Medial to lateral, and then also coming back in. The next one is what I call like working with like this, it's like sun rays. So we're coming down and moving everything out from the eyes. This is really good for working with puffiness underneath the eyes. So I'm going to take the edge of the poultice, and again, make sure you're not twisting it. Go ahead and open your eyes. And lightly and gently, like I said, like little sun rays coming out. And I'm just going to lightly press and start to drain out. Now we can combine movements because we're pushing everything down. And I am seeing thinning. I'm starting to see her firming, cheekbone coming out. But we don't want it, now we want to finish draining, contouring, and sculpting down. So I'm going to combine movements. I'm going to come down, come into that plump and roll movement. So this is a combo. Drain, plump, I'm adding pressure, and rolling, I'm adding pressure. When you come down and you roll, you're pushing back up towards the cheekbone. So I'm pushing here all along. And that's where, if you're not having control and you're losing it, a lot of times it's just because you're not adding that pressure in there. You can also do it lightly if you really want to work more with drainage, and it's going to depend on the person. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to do some of these combo techniques to drain out and down. Okay. So that's just another technique. Then I'm going to come back once again and reinforce with some draining, especially around the cheekbones here. And this hand just kind of rolls. Make sure you're not trying to guide it with this and roll it with whatever hand is on the handle. It just kind of lightly, because I might do this 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. It just depends on how much contouring, how much lymphatic drainage I need, firming. This is also what I call finishing stroke. And this is at the very end. You'll kind of get about 10 to 15% better results by just coming in and doing this repetitiveness with rolling and draining. Okay. So it's starting to get dry and cool down. So I want to put it back. And then what I'll do, and I'm starting to see, starting to see a little bit with thinning in here. I want to work a little bit more in the contour of contour underneath her jaw, but I want to come work the other side, because remember, when you do one side, you're going to get results. Then you work the other side, you usually get better results. Then you have to come back and create consistency between the right. So as we're re-steaming the poultice, our third line and set of pressure points is along the brows. Go ahead and close your eyes. Just relax. So these points can be fillers while you're steaming the poultice. So you have 3 sets, and we'll do circles right on the temples. Again, slow, small circles. Just put them to sleep. Okay. So as a quick review, the pressure points, and you do this as you're steaming, so you're going to divide it into 3, is from the tip of the nose here, the edge, out to the point underneath the jaw, circles. Then from the bridge of the nose, pressure points out, and circles right on the point on that custos meatus, and then along the eyebrows to the temple, circles on the temple.
Do you do any right here?
You can, sure. And you can always use pressure points on the face as a filler. If you have to re-steam the poultice, you could also do points on the crown. You can do points under the jaw. And it's a nice little tool to use so that you're always maintaining contact. And, we're working a lot of the points and the meridians and lymphatic drains in the face. So it's nice to reinforce that with pressure points. Okay, so this is really hot right now, so I'm kind of just wasting the heat, just warming up the area that I'm going to be working. I can't go deep right now, so I'm just going to start working, opening up the drains, work underneath the neck, start to contour. Okay. Again, this just kind of rolls in your fingers, helps you maintain control. As you come up around, okay, now I'm starting to add more pressure as it's cooling down. So So I'm going to do my plump and roll, okay? Really plump up the cheek, and then roll and follow right along underneath the zygomatic bone all the way out. Okay? Make sure you're not doing fingers. Okay, draining. Okay. I'm going to go right into the plump and roll this way. Really sculpt, get those nice lifted cheekbones. They're right under the shelf there. Create a little shelf. And I'm coming out from the outside of the edge of the lip. And as I come around, make sure you're not coming around like this. You keep a long, nice, even stroke all the way out. Okay. I'm going to come right into the brows. And I'll come back to some of these other areas. I just want to make sure that I'm starting to drain, getting some contour. Okay, so again, up right into the brow, follow it around, all the way down. Kind of just right where you would apply wax and around. Coming up and out. So, again, when I talk about kind of being nitpicky and really dividing these up into smaller movements, I could start on the outside and come in, and I can also come down more really lightly right on the hood on top of the eye ball. Super, super light. Even if you wanted to come in and just roll it gently and coming out. This allows you to really get rid of any puffiness that might be there. And again, just gently. You can always back up into it, overlapping your points to make sure you're not hitting any type of a blockage. Clearing out. Okay? You can also take with the eyes and feel free, move your chair. Don't get stuck right behind the head. It's going to be easier if you come at this and to come out, and then you can drain right in behind the ears and then all the way down. So I can come up over the brow all the way to the temple, and if I want, I can take it and I can move it all the way and drain down the neck. Okay, you can also do that if you're coming under the eye. You can come and drain all the way back and down. Same here, or up, around and over.
Okay. Should you go up and around the ear?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? Okay.
So here's where I came. I'll do it on this side. So I came up and over, down, and especially when you come in through here, you can come in here and just rotate it around, and it's one nice movement. Here, around, coming in, and then you can just follow up here. Even come back from here. Okay. Drain right into the hairline. Okay, so the next movement, that third, just kind of catching the look of the brow, coming in. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead, I want to reheat my poultice. Even just, come in and put a little heat, just kind of up on the upper packs or roll it in the shoulders. That's a good way to what I call, kind of wasting the heat, but still letting your client get the benefits. Because I'm doing the eyes, and it's really sensitive with heat, so that part I have to be careful. How's that? Okay?
That's better.
All right. So I'm going to come in and do the lifting. Okay? Just find the point right up under the brow, come up over, and then you can add pressure. So that's lifting. There we go. Also eases a lot of tension. We furrow our brow a lot, so and this is actually quite warm. even here, you just kind of rock it. So when it's really hot like this, you just want to make sure that you keep it moving and not pressing and holding it. Okay. Now I'm going to work under the eye. I'm going to come to the edge, to the side. Go ahead and open your eyes. Oh wait, actually, I'm going to make my flat surface kind of just a smaller edge. And go ahead and close your eyes. Rock it and more pressure down. So I'm rocking it with a bit of a sculpt and lift. Notice the plumping and plumping up. Okay, really working. It's a workout for the face. We want to stimulate that muscle. Reinforce the support function. Really carve. Start to create some cheekbone. Okay, open your eyes. Okay, right side, right hand coming out. So you have to be a little bit ambidextrous with this as well. And then I'm going to start moving down, overlapping, because I really want to start draining down, and then also making sure that as I do this, and especially you find this when you're working on an older client, the cheekbones really start to come out, and you get rid of the puffiness, and then you get that nice, firm, healthy glow to the skin. But the firmness and really the contour, a nice healthy contour. Now I'm just kind of working different, I'm doing some zigzags, and to get the results, I'm alternating different techniques. So you don't have to follow this protocol exactly. What you have to do is just make sure that you have the techniques down. Go ahead and open your eyes, and then you alternate them for the best results based on do they have puffiness? Do they need more sculpting? Do they need more lifting? So now this is like the sun rays just coming out from the eyes. Really helps really well getting rid of puffiness. And then you always want to follow through with coming around and bringing that eye up and lifting it. But I'm going to combine this also with coming down, kind of a drain, sculpt, and lift. Draining, sculpt, and lift coming out. Now, I've already see, and you can see I'm getting better results on this side. So if you look from this direction, I'm going to have to come back and come in through here.
I can't. It's fine.
It's not a bad thing. Okay, so that's just how it works. And so you work about 10 minutes on each side. But once you do all the techniques on side A, it doesn't matter, I don't care if you start on the left or the right. Side A, then go to the other side, give that side a break, work the other side, and then come back and get symmetry. So I'm going to have to come back over because now she's not symmetrical at all. Sorry. We'll get you straightened out. Okay.
I'm not worried about it.
Now I'm just going to do some evened out. To the head. Okay, now I'm just going to do some draining more. And this is again kind of a finishing movement where I'm working lateral, medial, medial to lateral, and I'm just repeating. And I'm going quickly, and it is more of a quicker movement, but it's light. Okay, especially here for the fine lines around the eyes, really works well. Okay, now I want to come to the other side. And let's try and get some symmetry. So now we're actually at kind of like at the ending, where you're going to go back and forth to make sure that I'm going to have one more move I'll show you. So it's just real hot, so I'm going quickly. But I can do my draining over here. Go ahead and open. You do need the eyes to be open when you come right up under. It allows you to get right next to the eye. Okay, little. So as I'm coming around, I'm shaping up and around, up and around, up and around. I'm also reinforcing, and this is where you'll really see the difference with the angle of the eyes and really getting that eye to plump up and lift, supporting the muscles. Okay, this has cooled down a little bit. I'm going to come in and do another technique. Now she's really starting to equal out, and I'm seeing more symmetry. Another technique I like is we're going to come up right up under the zygomatic bone, right on the zygomatic major and minor muscle here. I'm going to come up, you're going to just find the point, and then add a diagonal up pretty much right to the temple. And we're going to do 3 lines there. So you come up, and as you find the point, plump up, and then just let the weight of the poultice, it's probably maybe like a 2 to 3, just come right out up over. You want to be careful that you're not pressing in on that bone. You're just letting the poultice slide up and over the muscle. And this really gives you a nice lift with this movement. Right up to the temple. Also feels good on the jaw. That's very soothing. Also feels good with the sinuses coming under all the points here. Okay, so this is nice. Follow through. Remember, those send points are destination points. So as we come up, we want to follow all the way to the point. We also want to go to the point because they're at the edge of the face, and with that, we drain. Okay? So now I'm noticing a huge difference now with her. So I want to come in and really even out. And she has fantastic skin, and she's young, but we really have been able to, I guess, think of a little bit thinner. We took a before picture so we can compare them. But also just increasing the oxygenation, detoxifying the skin, letting her skin take in the herbs, that's all beneficial. So don't get so caught up in, the contouring and the lifting and the before and after. Those will come when you're just doing the techniques, but there's a lot of things that are going on as well in addition to that. Go ahead and close. And this is where I'm seeing a little bit more puffiness on this side, so I'm going to just lightly continue to drain out. So this sculpting contour movement, I'm doing light. Same technique, just lighter. Go ahead and open. So, looks pretty even now. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to stick the poultice back into the steamer, and then I'm going to do the aromatherapy massage with this. I'm just going to apply the oil. And we're going to start with Tai Y, which is our aromatherapy sculpting massage. And Tai Y means hands in Tai, hand in Tai. It's a prayer movement. It's also an energy movement. We're working with the meridians in the face. We're going lightly, so it's also working with lymphatic drainage. So you're going to bring your hands up and just let your hands float down, just like they're water cascading off of a mountain, rocks, a waterfall. You're going to come and you're going to contour above and below the chin, and you're going to bring your hands out. Let your fingers come together, and you see how my hands, as they come down, it's almost like they're flat or bending backwards as I come out off of that send point under the jaw. So I'm going to do it one more time. Coming down, contour. Let each part of your hand, your palm, your fingers touch. contour out, not up. Come around, create a full circle, really come down. Her face is parting my hands. My palm is coming right under her cheekbone, reinforcing the points as I come down. Following, I'm contouring underneath the cheekbone. Her lips are splitting my fingers, coming on off that center point right on the ear. Come around, just let my hands float down. Again, just let your hands float down on the natural geography of the face. Each part. So you want to make sure, so there's 4 lines, you want to make sure that as you come down, you're not coming here like a spaceship landing, okay? Even if you come here, don't part here and not touch the face until you get to your fingertips, and then use your fingertips like that. Just let each part float down. Softly, softly, softly. Let those eyelashes peek through. Then you can bring your fingertips together and add more pressure off that center point. When you're coming up, also make sure you're not coming here and coming all the way up, okay? This is an energy movement, and we're working with the meridians in the face. So it's coming here, here. As we come down, here, contouring underneath the cheekbone, right where we worked, coming off the ear. Coming down, splitting that eyelash, coming together on the temple, out, and then the forehead, out. Okay? So I'm going to do it one time right through, and then we'll move to this next movement. Think of Tai Chi. It's a very nice, energetic, meditative movement. Okay. Now we're going to come to the side, and if you need to, you can reapply oil, but you're going to come up with the sides of your hands and just contouring. This is also if anyone has lots of wrinkles and really needs that facial fitness in their neck. This is a nice movement. Don't have their head so far over that the skin in the neck is stretched and the muscles. You want to be able to have some ply here, some movement. Okay, so I'm just smoothing the neck muscles and coming up. This is really important. This is also movement you can teach them to do at home. So this reinforces what you're doing. Daily, they can be doing a self-massage when they put on their creams or an oil. Okay, and just lifting. As you come up, you're going to contour right around the jaw. And I'm using my fingers, again, just to contour above and below the jaw, out. Now notice, one hand is contouring, and one hand is like collecting. So I'm contouring, and then every once in a while, you can come down, lightly drain. So I'm not going like this, hand over hand, this way. One hand contours, and you just kind of one hand collects. So I'm bringing any fluids, detoxing. I'm contouring right up under the cheekbone. And as I come in, I'm going to do my tapotment. So stimulate circulation. Now what I'm doing is my hand, I'm using the side, the edge of my fingers, coming in, the next one follows, next one follows, next one follows. So you're opening up your fingers. You're not using fingertips like this. It's the edge. And I'm going to come upward right under the shelf of the cheek. And I'm also going to come out for that nasolabial fold here. And we can really get your head turned a little bit. And you see that vibration and that stimulating of the circulation. Okay? It's a light to medium pressure. I'm not super light. I'm actually really getting some contour, and I'm working into the muscles, but it's light enough that I'm getting that vibration on that tapotment. Okay? Afterwards, just continue to sculpt and contour, collect, drain. Always want to make sure you're always following up with draining. Now I'm going very lightly. Lymphatic drainage, okay. Collecting, one hand coming over. I'm using the pads of my fingers. Go ahead and open your eyes. Lightly. Make sure you don't stretch. Now I'm also going to work back. So I'm working lateral to medial, coming in this way, and then back. You really see nice lifting at this point. Okay? I'm going to work in just like I did with the poultice. Coming in, find the point right underneath that zygomatic bone. Come in and just let your fingers fall. Let the muscle and that cheek fall right from below your fingers as you come up to the temple. And you're going to go along the same line you did with the poultice. You can come all the way out. You can also feel the muscle too. So if they're still tense or tight, you can feel that in their jaw. Okay. Come up. And as you come around, you can come in and just lightly. Now I've switched hands from this one, so I can drain. Right, crow's feet, smooth out the eyes. I also want that lifting, come up. You can come in and reinforce what you did with the poultice on the eyebrows too, coming up. Okay. Now I'm going to come around. Now you can see just the difference in, if you look from this direction, right before we did the aromatherapy massage, I was evening out both sides, and I was happy with the results and the fact that I was creating symmetry, but you can see with that additional sculpting how now this side needs to be done. So we've gone from, 25 with the finishing movements, 25%, we brought that down to 20%, 15%, 5%. Now we're coming around and just finishing up by draining, sculpting, and contouring, and the skin tone looks great. So this is how you just kind of inch away at the puffiness and that contouring. So I'm going to turn her head, and we're going to just repeat. Okay, I'm going to come up on the neck. Again, you can come in and work to smooth. And we always have to go down every once in a while to drain. But what our intention here is lifting and coming out, and then sculpting. Okay, collecting. And there's other drainage methods that you can incorporate. You come in just lightly pumping as well. Your vibration, stimulating circulation, coming right up under the shelf of the cheekbone there. And really creating a little shelf too. To get those nice little sideways. Good. And just continue to contour around. And get rid of that last bit of fluid, the contouring, lifting. So we really are reinforcing what we did with the poultice. That worked the muscles, it warmed them, it soothed, it relaxed. The face absorbed all the herbs. So as I contour, I'm a little bit deeper, and I just want to make sure that I get this area because I want it to match her left side. Go ahead and open your eyes. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to do like I did on the other side. Switch hands, one still collecting, bringing it over, draining very lightly. Okay. Now,
Me?
no.
Okay.
So afterwards, we put on the eye mask, facial mask, and while that is where you leave that to set and dry, absorb, we can do pressure points on the crown. So pressure point, thumb over thumb. Our energy, our focus is taking the energy right down out through her hands and her fingertips, right through her midsection, down her legs, right to the tops of her toes. So I'm going to bring myself back in the chair, so I have good posture, and I'm leaning in. It's not a push-up. I'm just leaning my pressure. 1, 2, 3, hold 2, 3, release. Coming into that next point. So we start right at the hairline and just press in on the crown. Come to the next point. It's 1 point out. Still using the pads of our thumbs. Straight pressure down. One more point out. You come underneath and just let the weight of her head provide the pressure. And just work all the points on the crown. This isn't a shampoo movement. We're pressing and just taking our fingertips, the pads of our fingers, to massage. Always with our intention of taking the energy down through the feet. Okay. Afterwards, you can do your hand and arm massage with the renewing body polish, exfoliate, nourish. You can do a foot treatment, whatever you incorporate into the protocol while you have this. You take the poultice out and just we've done the work. You've done all the contouring, the sculpting. This is now just relaxing. So you can turn the head and finishing, come in just like you do with the body poultice or the cranial poultice. Come in, palms to fingertips, and just press in and give a nice shoulder massage. Okay? This way, we're working the muscles, just relaxing. You can even come up into the pecs a little bit, work your way to the other side. Make sure that you're going to keep the heat consistent on both sides. I'm adding pressure, pressing in on the shoulders, down, down, down towards the feet, up, palms to fingertips. This hand's just holding it and kind of creating control with it. So, and then just coming in. So sure, this is a great way to end. And we don't have to worry about any of the techniques. This is just relaxing. You can work on the ears. Feels really good. Pressing and holding around the ear. There's a lot of pressure points. Ears are very sensitive too. Just make sure you keep consistent on the right and left side. The ears. Okay. And you can do the same thing as we do with the body poultice. Come under. It's a little bit easier. And bring it under the neck, about C7, and then just roll it up the neck. Even if you want to come back down and do it a few times. So what I'm doing is I'm coming on the right side, the left side. The handle of the poultice is outside. So what I'm doing is I'm rolling it down, and then I'm just rolling it up, coming down, rotating it like this. And that feels really good. Kind of just do some traction, leaning back, Now I'm holding it like this, and I'm coming into along the occiput like this. So I'm just going to come and hold, and this feels really, really good. And you know, this is all about the facial massage. It's about the aesthetic benefits, the skincare benefits, but also just providing a really relaxing massage. So it's kind of like getting a massage and a facial all in one. That you're not going to get, you know, the benefits of the heat, the herbs, the drainage. And then put the poultice back into the bag, let it cool down, and then they can use it at home. So once it cools, they can re-wet it, steam it, do a self-massage, or wet it and freeze it, and use it as a cool compress on the eyes as well.